Washington State, trying to get to Sammamish, which is a suburb just outside of Seattle, where my brother just moved his family. So we kind of blew through Idaho much quicker than we would have liked to.
We're only in the little
panhandle
area, but we would have liked to explore Idaho a little more.
Absolutely. Idaho is a very intriguing state. I definitely want to see more of it. It just wasn't in the cards for this particular trip. Right. So we're doing things a little different. We have decided to put the Airstream in storage and move into my brother's house for the next month, just to get to spend more time with them. And it's gonna be a money saver also. We ended up calling around probably 20 different storage yards in and around the Sammamish area, and the majority of them were full, which is insane. And that's a good business to go into for sure. RV and boat storage in and around Seattle. The cheapest price I could find to store the Airstream just essentially in a parking lot was $200 for a month. And the
which isn't bad, considering that if we stayed in a RV park for a month, it costs us way more than that.
Oh, significantly more, especially in that area. The very last place we called was a public storage facility, which is like a nationwide storage place. And they were running a special where you get your first month for $1. It's got a $24 initial like setup fee one time, and there's no obligation, like for how long, no length commitment, I guess you would say. It's not like a contract. It's a month-to-month lease that you can pull out of at any time. So I was completely upfront with them and explained, listen, we only need it for a month and then we're pulling it back out. And they said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. So we are storing the trailer in Sammamish for $25 for the month. So mixed feelings about this next month. Very excited to spend time with my family, who I haven't seen. I haven't seen in 6 months.
We haven't seen them since New Orleans.
We haven't seen my brother and sister-in-law since New Orleans, but we haven't seen my niece since we left back in December. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them. And you know, if you're gonna slow down for you know, a month like we are, I don't think Seattle is a bad place to do it. There's just so much to see and do in that area that having a home base for free for the next month, we'll still get out and explore and do our adventuring. We'll just be doing it from the comfort of a home. So what about you, TJ? What do you think?
I'm torn because in one respect I'm excited that we're getting to see them and we're going to be hanging out with them, but at the same time I feel a little bit sad by the fact that we're leaving our home somewhere else, which is weird. I don't really get why I feel that way. I just do. I feel like we're gonna miss moving. Like sitting stationary in one place for too long, I feel is going to be weird for us now.
I get that too. I totally understand where he's coming from. You start to get that travel itch, you know, where you're tired, even though the place you're at is beautiful and maybe there's lots to do, you're ready to move on. So yeah, I'm curious how long it will be before we start to feel that. So we are a couple hours away, and yeah, can't wait to get there.
Hello!
Hello, you're being filmed.
Awesome.
Beautiful place.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So,
alright, man. It's a bro hug time. I haven't seen you in too long.
Right?
it's bright here.
Yeah, it's really bright.
Somebody didn't tell it was Seattle. Hello. Hello. Are you not going to hug me? You had a camera. I know. Hello. How are you? Good. How are you?
I can't believe it's been so long since
I know. gonna be nuts. Are you guys ready for the craziness that is our dog? Stay away.
Oh, really?
Good timing. Come on, over the thing.
Yeah.
Go.
We arrived at Breeze Brothers in Seattle, and he bought us a ping pong table. What was wrong with that? It's perfect.
Well, we are dropping our girl off at storage. I feel a little guilty about this.
It's a sad, sad day here at the storage unit.
Some of the things that we have done to get ready, or to prepare the trailer, I should say, for being here. We put our wheel chocks in like we do every time that we unhitch the trailer. It takes and cinches both wheels so that they can't roll forward or back.
We'll show you here in a second.
But TJ had the brilliant idea. Brilliant.
It's not my idea. They're made to do this.
Okay, well, I didn't know that, so I'm giving TJ credit for it.
I'll take it, but it wasn't my idea.
Of buying locks and locking it so that somebody can't undo the wheel chock and hitch up and pull our trailer out. So yeah, these guys we put in every time, but what we've done differently this time is put these padlocks in, and this is the area where you would normally ratchet it loose or tight, and now you can't do that because it's locked. So on a normal hitch setup, the vehicle would have a ball, which you can see ours is completely different, and then on the trailer you would have like a coupling, I guess you would say.
The tongue.
On the tongue.
Which is still there.
Which would fit over the ball. So ours is a completely different setup. It's pretty unlikely that anybody's gonna have this same setup. Now what TJ's done, he's wrapped them around the receiver and then used another lock to lock that in place. If somebody really wants it badly enough, they could cut through these chains, they could cut through the padlocks on the wheel chocks, but the harder you make it for somebody, the less likely they are to steal it. And that's really our goal here. And then the other thing that some people do, and we haven't found the need yet because we move so often, but to put tire covers on the tires to keep the UV rays off of them and to keep them from rotting. We've chosen not to go to that expense. It would be about $50 to do 4 tire covers, and I just don't know that it's really necessary for the month that it's going to be here. We do take precautions with the tires. We use a liquid UV treatment. I think we use Airstream 303 on the tires just to help keep them from dry rotting. All of the compartments all the way around have been locked. We've also bought some damp rid, and we're going to leave it out for any humidity so that you don't start growing mildew or mold inside the trailer while we're gone. This is our fantastic fan up here, and normally it pulls from the batteries to run this fan, and you can either run it where it sucks the hot air out, or you can reverse it where it blows air in. With the batteries disconnected, we're able to manually open this vent without the fan running, which is going to allow airflow. So we've got this open, and then in the back of the trailer, in both the shower and the bathroom, we have vent fans that normally, when connected to power, would run a fan, but because there's no power, we can just, this is closed, we can just open it up, and that's going to allow the air to flow from here to there, and again, just keeping the air
cover to keep the rain out,
moving through here. Both vents have covers to keep the rain out, so even if it rains, it shouldn't cause any damage. We've cleaned out the fridge and freezer and wiped it down with Lysol wipes. We've got these little hooks that help keep it propped open. We're also using this opportunity to defrost the freezer. So we put a couple of towels in here just in case, you know, as this ice back here starts to melt, we don't want it to leak all over the floor. So putting the towels here.
And we'll come back and take those out so they don't get mildewy and stinky.
And because we're kind of on a slant to the passenger side here, the door just naturally stays open on its own. But we're just kind of bungeeing it so that there's just a little bit of space for it to be open and to allow airflow to continue through here. In these trailers, humidity and moisture is the big thing that you're trying to avoid. We have the ability to change our batteries from use mode to store mode, but rather than do that, we're actually going to disconnect the terminals. The reason for that is that even switched onto store mode, there's a parasitic draw from certain things like the circuit boards and whatnot. So even with your batteries fully charged and in store mode, leaving it for a month, you can come back and your batteries be completely drained. Otherwise, you know, we're going to draw the blinds, do everything we can to keep the heat out but the airflow moving.
Keep people from looking in.
And keep people from looking in. We've got it in gated with barbed wire fence, storage facility that's got a lock with a unique code for everybody that enters.
Security
Right.
cameras.
Security cameras, all, you know, all of it. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird feeling leaving it here. I feel like we're abandoning it. You know, this is our home. Everything we need in life, everything we own in life is in this trailer. So leaving it is bizarre. Also trying to figure out what we would need when we were unloading the things into my brother's house was really difficult. We were like, it'll be a miracle if we've remembered everything we need and don't have to run back over here to grab something, but we did the best we could. Any parting words?
Sorry.
Don't hate it.
We'll come back and check on you.
Yeah,
I
don't.
feel like we're leaving one of our kids,
It's weird.
if we had kids. Or
Yeah.
one of the dogs.
Yeah, I hear ya.